I have so many favorite resources on resilience. I had this like awakening during COVID when basically my compartmentalized life fell apart and all the compartments were laid together in my house and my kids were online learning on one floor while I was Zooming on another floor and everything seemed out of control. And again, it was hard to do more and more and more because literally every area of my life during that time was asking for more. And I was kind of like, where's mine? So I did go down this rabbit hole of reading a lot of things about resilience and self-care. I would say I really like the Nat Ministries' Rest as Resistance paradigm, this idea, again, of this oppressive success culture and how we can intentionally and actively resist and create new expectations. I think it's also, grounded in a space kind of outside of the very white metrics of success, and that is an important voice to bring forward. There are other ways in which I pursue resilience and self-care that rely on external resources, and some of those are subscriber-based and some of them are not. So I'll talk about them at a higher level, not to drop any particular brand names, but I think incorporating things like meditation. I'm actually not a great meditator. That's not why I do it. It's just more of an intentional pause in my day, whether that's 5 minutes between meetings or shutting down my mind to sleep at night. I don't follow most of the prompts that they give me, but it's just, how do I stop the ticker tape of thought into a new direction? So that's a tool, and there are a lot of free and paid services that provide that I think is a good resource to start with. The final thing I would say is just how are folks engaging with the great outdoors, whether that's the literal outdoors, meaning the outside, or just the outside world. Taking lunch not at your desk, going for a walk, calling a friend. I think making sure that every day has some sort of moment in engaging with the outside world and the great outdoors is a key part, particularly at the postdoc stage where many postdocs are in a particular place that is not their hometown or even their home country. So their access to support may be more limited or further in reach.
I have 1,000 resources on this topic. I think about this all the time. Brene Brown is one of my favorites. I went through her training on shame resilience. And she has 2 TED Talks on shame and vulnerability. And then Rising Strong is a very good resource on resilience, is specifically on resilience. Daring Greatly, I think, is something that all faculty should read as well, because it's specifically about taking risk. Dare to Lead follows that, and so it's specifically about leadership. I would say Radical Candor by Kim Scott. It also talks about being assertive and how to say what you mean what you say. Humble Leadership and Humble Inquiry. Again, every faculty member and every leader in our country and other countries should read these. These are by the Shines, Peter Shine, and they talk a lot about how do we enter a conversation with inquiry as opposed to judgment. And then the final one is Quiet Leadership, which talks a little bit about the listening as opposed to the active advice giving.